On the news tonight, federal government to transfer 8,000 naira to 12 million poor households for 6 months. Senate confirms nomination of service chiefs. And police arrest suspect of attack on Apostle Suleiman. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The Nigerian police force says it has arrested a suspect, Yusuf Ismail Issa, in connection with the attack on the convoy of the General Overseer of Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, along Benin-Auchi Road. 3 police officers were killed in the attack, which happened last October. The force public relations officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi on Thursday in Abuja confirmed the arrest when parading the 32-year-old suspect alongside other suspects arrested for alleged various criminal activities. Giving details, Adejobi disclosed that the suspect was a member of the 7-man gang responsible for the attack, where 6 people, including police officers, were gruesomely murdered. He added that some of the rifles found in the possession of the suspect were rifles snatched from the 3 police officers killed during the October 21, 2022 attack.
In totality, we have paraded to you 20 suspects for offenses ranging from conspiracy, kidnapping, murder, attempted murder, culpable homicide, and unlawful possession of illicit drugs. On display today, we have 40 AK-47 rifles, 3 pistols, 3 locally made shotguns, 100 K2 ammunition, 11 9mm pistol ammunition, 20 rolls of tramadol or packs of tramadol, 5 bricks of fake gold, 1 iPhone 13 Pro Max, 1 locally made single barrel gun, 5 different company stamps, $800.
12 million poor Nigerian households will receive a transfer of 8,000 naira for a period of 6 months as part of President Bola Tinubu's plans to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. The president made this known in a letter sent to the Senate regarding the $800 million loan request of the Buhari administration for the Social Safety Net program. Tinubu in the letter explained that a loan will be used to scale up the National Social Safety Net program. According to the president, the money transferred to poor households would have a multiplier effect on about 60 million individuals. He added that for credibility, the money will be transferred to the households digitally.
Request for approval of additional financing of the National Social Safety Net program. Approved an additional loan facility to the tune of $800 million to be secured from the World Bank for the National Social Safety Net program. You may also wish to note that the purpose of the facility is to expand coverage of shock-responsive safety net support for the poor and vulnerable Nigerians, and to help them cope with the cost of meeting basic needs.
In a related development, the House of Representatives has passed an amendment to the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2022. The amendment passed first, second, and third readings during plenary on Wednesday. President Bola Tinubu asked the lawmakers to approve the 500 billion naira in order to allow the federal government to provide palliatives to cushion the effects of petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians. The sum is to be extracted from the 819 billion naira Supplementary Appropriation Act. The lawmakers urged the president to ensure judicious use of the funds as requested.
In a further wish to note that under the conditional cash transfer window of the program, the federal government of Nigeria will transfer the sum of 8,000 naira per month to 12 million poor and low-income households for a period of 6 months with a multiplier effect on about 60 million individuals. In order to guarantee the credibility of the process, digital transfers will be made directly to beneficiaries' accounts and mobile wallets. It is expected that the program will stimulate economic activity in the formal sector and improve nutrition, health, and education outcomes for beneficiary households. Given the above, I wish to invite the House of Representatives to kindly grant approval for the loan facility of 800 million USD, United States dollars, to be secured from the World Bank for the National Social Safety Net Program. While hoping that this submission will receive expeditious consideration by the House of Representatives, please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed his belief that the removal of fuel subsidy will ultimately benefit a large number of Nigerians, despite the immediate challenges posed by the policy. During a meeting with former governors known as the Class of 1999, President Tinubu acknowledged the difficulties faced by Nigerians due to the price surge in petrol. He, however, urged the public to remain patient as his administration works on delivering palliatives to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. More details in this report.
It's been 1 month and 2 weeks since President Bola Tinubu made an official declaration on the controversial fuel subsidy policy and the decades of subsidy payment. While the aftermath of the policy have been greeted by an expected hike in the price of petrol and inflation rate, the much-awaited subsidy is yet to materialize. But speaking at this meeting with the Class of 1999 governors, Tinubu assured that the removal of fuel subsidy will help to rebirth a new economy.
We must take advantage of the gas deposit to propel Nigeria forward. More and more countries are discovering around us gas deposits. So we have to attract more investment back here. On the subsidy removal, thank you for the support. And I understand people are suffering. Yes, there can be no childbirth without the pain. The joy of childbirth is a big relief of the pain.
On the issue of insecurity in the Northeast, Tinubu pleaded with the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, to preach the good news of peace to his people, adding that they should do away with swords and use dialogue in resolving conflicts.
On security, I just had a meeting this afternoon with the governor of Borno State. Things are getting gradually better. And I will appeal to Dari to please send a message back home to Plateau. The peace, that kind of peace that you have there, is desired now. We will do everything possible to stabilize the country. We have no reason whatsoever to clean ourselves.
While lauding the effort of the president, Lucky Igbeneghu, the former governor of Edo State and the chairperson of the Class of 1999 governors, urged Nigerians to give the president maximum support and trust to the commitment to providing the promised palliatives.
We are not talking about the project Nigeria. Therefore, all hands must be on deck to give Mr. President the needed support and encouragement to foster a better country, a better nation, We also seize the opportunity to congratulate him as the new chairman of ECOWAS and assure him that we are with him, and anytime he wants to dig into the wealth of experience of these very prominent and well-founded members of Class of 99, he should be rest assured that we'll continue to give him the necessary support.
The former Edo State governor also explained that the members of the class of 1999 governors congratulated the president for his victory at the polls and lent their support to his agenda of transforming Nigeria.
The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs appointed by President Bola Tinubu. The top security chiefs that were confirmed on Thursday are Major General Christopher Musa as Chief of Defense Staff, Major General T.A. Lagbaja as Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala as Chief Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar as Chief of Air Staff. Prior to the confirmation, the service chiefs went into a closed-door session where the senators engaged them for more than 2 hours. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said during the closed-door session, the service chiefs answered questions on defense-related matters and topical issues. The Chief of Army Staff, Taureed Lagbaja, has described the amnesty program for bandits and terrorists in Zamfara and other states as a failed program. Lagbaja spoke when he hosted Dauda Lawal, governor of Zamfara, on Wednesday in Abuja. The Army chief said the program failed to achieve its purposes in the past, adding that it only allowed criminals to regroup, reorganize, and attack citizens. Speaking further, Lagbaja said he has directed the deployment of more platforms and the release of funds to reactivate unserviceable ones to boost troops' operations in the state, assuring that the Army is determined to tackle the security challenges in the state. For more insight into the position of the Chief of Army Staff, Taureed Lagbaja, I spoke with Salahuddin Hashim, who is a security expert. And I began by asking him if he believes that amnesty given to bandits and terrorists in Zamfara has worsened the security situation in the state.
I think it is very important to first of all establish that insecurity in Nigeria has actually been on the reverse gear, and that is because the country and its people have suffered untold hardship as a result of this setback. And with that said, it is also very important to just give a little bit of a view into the activities of this guy. Then, of course, we can get into the decision of whether or not whether it is important to offer them this sort of amnesty. Between January 2021 and December 2022, Zamfara alone experienced over 1,434 deaths for 145 incidents of banditry. It was the highest number of deaths arising from banditry in the Northwest for that period. And then, of course, the mobility of these guys for that period has been very swift across the Northwest, Katsina, Sokoto, Kaduna, and of course the entire environs, and of course Zamfara. And then, of course, we know how many students suffered fatalities. Over 1,000 students also have witnessed some level of closure, some kidnapped, and then, of course, huge amount of ransom were paid. And then, of course, the amount that were paid ran into almost $1 trillion. And then, of course, you put all of these things together, it tells you very clearly that there's a problem that coexists in this particular country, and there's a need for us to tackle it head on. The discussion and the statement made by the Chief of Army Staff can be categorized into two. One is the complexity of the situation that we are confronted with. And then, of course, the flip side is the political economy of conflict. And if we look at it from the complexity of the situation, we know too well that we have counterterrorism laws in these countries and the state's penalties as to what should be done for anybody who is caught culpable in situations and circumstances like this. But unfortunately, we have had incidences in the past where governors have run into some level of bargaining and, of course, negotiation, and it eventually ended hitting the rock, and that is because they negotiated from the point of weakness. And then, of course, merchants, conflict merchants in between also saw the need for them to cash in, and then, of course, use the opportunity to smile to the bank. And, of course, we knew too well that in Zamfara alone, over 200 traditional leaders were also culpable in the white paper report that was also released. So it tells you that there is a myriad of stakeholders who benefit from these atrocious activities going on in that region. And then, of course, there's a need to handle this in a more professional way.
So amnesty was given to militants in the Niger Delta and peace was restored in that region. What makes amnesty given to bandits different from the militants in the oil-rich Niger Delta region?
I think it's a context issue. The context in the Niger Delta is different because the group in the region were actually fighting for some social equilibrium to improving livelihood. And that, for us, suggested very clearly that they had scores that is actually propelling their demands. This is actually a region that is the country is dependent on, and then, of course, the region services every other sector, but yet it is actually suffering from the blessings that the country is suffering, is enjoying, because you find livelihood completely taken away because of oil activities, exploration activities, spillages, fishes are taken out, their farms, lands can no longer, the soil cannot even respond to agriculture anymore. Of course, there are health issues, there are women adversely affected. So all of these things put together actually conglomerated the need for them to begin to put those demands and agitate for some level of responsiveness from the state. And then, of course, you can tell very clearly that were actually genuine because of the level of poverty and deprivation that you see in that region. But of course, for the bandits, what exactly is on the table that warranted their agitation other than criminality? There is nothing that describes banditry from that region other than their acts of destruction, and then, of course, trying to see how they consistently threaten authority. So terrorism is actually different from those who are agitating for their rights.
Well, that was Salahuddin Hashim, security expert, speaking on the position of the Chief of Army Staff, Taoreed Lagbaja, on amnesty programs given to bandits and terrorists in Zamfara State. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has given a one-week ultimatum to the Department of State Services, DSS, to either charge the detained suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, to court or set him free. Justice Hamza Muazu gave the order while delivering a ruling in a fundamental human rights suit instituted against the DSS and others by Emefiele. According to Muazu, Emefiele has not shown that his arrest and investigation are unlawful, but explained that it is within his right to get a fair hearing. The judge further said that Emefiele cannot remain in detention without a formal charge, adding that the DSS cannot use the period of Emefiele's detention to search for evidence against him. Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, U.S. consumer inflation cools to lowest since early 2021. We'll bring you details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back to News Now. A recap now of some of our top stories tonight. The Nigeria Police Force says it has arrested a suspect, Yusuf Ismail Issa, in connection to the attack on the convoy of the General Overseer, Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, along Benin Auchi Road. Giving details, Force Public Relations Officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed that the suspect was a member of the 7-man gang responsible for the attack, where 6 people, including 3 police officers, were gruesomely murdered. We also told you that 12 million poor Nigerian households will receive a transfer of 8,000 naira for a period of 6 months as part of President Bola Tinubu's plans to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. The President made this known in a letter sent to the Senate regarding the $800 million loan request of the Buhari administration for the Social Safety Net program. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Welcome back. Well, up next is Business News with Simi Saladigun. What's the latest, Simi?
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome again to Business News. The Debt Management Office, DMO, says Nigeria has redeemed a $500 million Eurobond on its due date. That's July the 12th, 2023. In a statement on Wednesday, the DMO said the successful redemption of the Eurobond shows the country's commitment to meeting its debt service obligations. The Debt Management Agency said the Eurobond was issued in July 2013 as part of a dual tranche $1 billion Eurobond for a tenure of 10 years at a coupon of 6.375% per annum. The United States consumer inflation cooled in June to its lowest rate since early 2021. That's according to government data released on Wednesday, an encouraging sign for policymakers battling cost of living pressures. According to the Labor Department, the Consumer Price Index at CPI rose 3.0% from a year ago last month, the smallest increase since March 2021, and down from 4.0% in May. The U.S. Federal Reserve has raised interest rates rapidly over the last year to ease demand and bring down price growth. I will take a short break and return with stock market report.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
The Despite earlier predictions by analysts that newly implemented policies by the federal government will have a positive impact on trading, the market has seen 2 consecutive days of losses in the second trading week in July. At the end of Thursday's trading, Nigeria's equities market decreased further by 2.03%, losing 707 billion naira as investors continued to take profit on recent gainers. Now, investors were seen selling stocks like Stanbic IBTC Holdings and Transcorp Hotels PLC. These stocks lead the gainers, the market's league of laggards, with a combined 96 naira 75 kobo. Now, it's a loss all round as Thursday's data shows a 31% decline in volume, 18% decline in turnover, and a 26% decline in deals. Now, foreign shares hit new highs for 2023 on Thursday, boosted by hopes that slowing U.S. inflation will convince the Federal Reserve to hit the pause button on interest rate hikes after this month. Now, the positive outlook helped our select stocks, that's all 3 of them, that's the UK's FTSE, the US Dow Jones, and Japan's Nikkei, recording bullish trade. Now that's the stock market report. Back to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks to Ms. Salah for the updates. And on the foreign scene, French prosecutors say they have opened an investigation after the discovery of a severed fingertip in a letter addressed to the presidential palace. The gruesome find was reported by staff working for President Emmanuel Macron at the beginning of the week, with police called in to investigate. The fingertip is believed to belong to the sender of the letter, who suffers from psychiatric problems. In sports, the Super Falcons will take on Australian club Queensland Lions FC in a friendly in Brisbane, Australia on Saturday, as they continue their preparations for the 2023 Women's World Cup, which begins on July the 20th. Queensland Lions are currently 4th in the 16-team Australian National Premier League with 27 points from 16 matches. They won the league a record 3 times in 2018, 2020 and 2021. The 9-time African champions will face co-host Australia, reigning Olympic queens Canada, and the Republic of Ireland in Group B of the competition. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.